$1,000 for that. I don't even know who's scamming who at this point.
That's the thing. It's a fucking Ouroboros of scams. Everyone's scamming each other. Everyone's got their hand in each other's pocket. TM Frank Sabatka.
Oh my God.
All right, so it goes on for a while to lay out the way in which...
I thought it was an actual poll.
No,
not like
no.
not like
a CNBC
not like
poll.
Which reality host has the best relationship with his kids? Like on MSN.
All right, so that's pretty funty. But okay, here's where it gets pretty juicy.
Yeah,
pretty
now
saucy.
we're talking. This is where it's getting hot.
Let's go Falwell's After Dark.
Yeah.
Liberty University Nights. Michael Cohen's connection to Jerry Falwell Jr. veers into deeply personal territory. In May 2019, Reuters reported that Cohen helped Falwell contain the fallout from some racy personal photos. Later that month, Falwell took to Todd Starnes' radio show to rebut the claims. All your friends are involved. All the characters are involved in this.
This is evangelical Kingdom Hearts. I love this. I love this.
Okay, so he rebutted the claims on Todd Starnes' radio show. Like, when you have to look for, like, the wettest simp to give you the softest interview to cover up something deeply embarrassing, it's the piss-drinking NRA guy.
Yes.
Well, of course, Todd Starnes allegedly. This is a long online joke about Todd Starnes that he drinks piss.
That he drinks piss.
I don't know if Todd Starnes drinks piss.
I do know that
he drinks sweet, that awful sweet tea.
I do know that he looks like
piss.
He looks like a diabetic Cabbage Patch Kid.
Okay.
Sweet tea is like a drink a bug would make. It sucks.
Okay, so Falwell goes on Todd Starnes' radio show and says, "This report is not inaccurate," Falwell said. "There are no compromising or embarrassing photos of me." Members of Falwell's inner circle took note of the phrasing. If you read how Jerry is framing his response, you can see he is being very selective, one of Falwell's confidants said. Racy photos do exist, but at least some of the photos are of his wife, Becky, as the Miami Herald confirmed in June. Longtime Liberty officials said close to Falwell told me the university president has shown or texted his male confidants, including at least in one employee who worked for him at Liberty, photos of his wife in provocative and sexual poses. At Liberty, Falwell is very, very vocal about his sex life, in the words of one Liberty official, a characterization multiple current and former university officials and employees interviewed for this story support. In a car ride about a decade ago with a senior university official who has since left Liberty, all he wanted to talk about was how he would nail his wife, how she couldn't handle his penis size, and stuff of that sort. You know, things of that nature.
Things of that nature.
This former official recalled Falwell did not respond to questions about the incident. More than simply talking with employees about his wife in a sexual manner, on at least one occasion, Falwell shared a photo of his wife wearing what appeared to be a French maid costume, according to the longtime Liberty University. By the way, just take a shot every time the phrase longtime Liberty employee or official comes up in this article. Falwell intended to send the image to his and Becky's personal trainer, Ben Crosswhite, as a thank you for helping his wife achieve her fitness goals, the employee said. In the course of texting, Falwell accidentally sent the message to several other people, necessitating a cleanup. In a statement, Falwell denied this. "I never had any picture of Becky Falwell dressed in a French maid uniform and never sent such a non-existent photo to Ben Crosswhite." Crosswhite did not respond to requests for comment. Crosswhite is another figure who comes up in this, who is Falwell's personal trainer, who has, guess what, a close relationship with Falwell and his wife, Becky, who, guess what, they've another hot young stud they've given some insane real estate deal to.
The second one.
The second one we've talked about before. The original story, not even mentioned in this reporting, was the Miami pool boy who Falwell and his wife basically just gifted a youth hostel in Miami, Florida.
Yes.
To run for them.
This guy, his personal trainer, they gave him a gymnasium that was on the property and that he was using, and then they just said, you know what, we'll just basically we'll let you buy it, but we'll also give you like 20 years worth of rent in advance so that the price is basically
on
not
July
half
23rd,
what it would be.
2013, Liberty University began renting space to Crosswhite for use as a fitness center. The facility was specifically built into the old racket club for Jerry and Becky to train privately with Crosswhite, a longtime university official familiar with the arrangement, said. Over the course of the Falwell's private training,
They used the money of the university to build a swingers dojo where they could just get like loose and sweaty with their fucking personal trainers.
Liberty began to pay for expensive upgrades to the facility, according to documents reviewed.
Swings, those cross expat things with
We
the
raised his rent
cuffs.
sum to cover the investment. Liberty University then sold it to Ben. Nobody else was allowed to bid on it. In a September 2015 email, Liberty University Vice President and Chief Operating Officer Randy Smith wrote Crosswhite to let him know the terms of the deal. The university would sell Crosswhite, the club, and all real estate associated with it for $1.2 million. Liberty employees would be allowed to use the facility. Crosswhite could decide what the value of that was, roughly $82,000 per year, he decided, and the school would pay in advance for 7 years of use. At closing, per Falwell's approval, Liberty would pay Crosswhite approximately $575,000, which effectively cut Crosswhite's total cost for the $1.2 million property in half. The net amount you would need at closing is $640,000 more or less, Smith wrote. After reviewing if the terms are acceptable to you, then I will get a final approval from Jerry to proceed, Smith wrote Crosswhite. Hell of a deal, a former high-ranking Liberty official told me. We gave Ben everything he asked for. There was a really funny video, again, that leaked on Twitter. I don't know if John Gager and Redfinch LLC is trying to shadow ban it, but it's Falwell... like pushing one of those weight sleds with Crosswhite sitting on it, and it's Crosswhite holding the camera in front of him, and it's like what it looks like is a sweaty older man over his shoulder huffing and puffing while Ben Crosswhite says things like "faster, Tiger, get it," over and over again.
A little faster. Come on, push it. A little faster. Let's go. Come on.
That's a real estate business team building exercise.
Okay. All right. So
Holy fuck.
So
also, Jerry Falwell's way too old to be doing push sleds with the body weight of like a trainer on it. He's going to fuck up his back.
So, okay, we now have this whole saga about how Falwell Jr. is a I love to do my wife guy.
He loves
and
to
loves
do his
bragging
wife.
to his friends about how like my wife she can't take it, but I'm giving it out nonetheless. And then,
Guess what? Me and my wife run out of condoms. Cool, man.
so originally, when the pool boy story broke, my conception of the story was like this is obviously evangelical Christian leader, sweetheart real estate deal to a Miami pool boy. This is obviously some closeted gay stuff going on here. But with the involvement of the wife, this begs the question, is this this is more of the swinger hot wife thing than the traditional closeted evangelical guy.
Your Ted Haggard thing.
Yeah, the Ted Haggard doing meth with rough trade.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, like it just brings a question. What's going on here? What's going on here between Jerry, Becky, and all of these young studs that they keep giving millions of dollars to? I mean, maybe he's a really good personal trainer.
I'm sure he is.
He's probably kind of.
And that pool boy really knows how to fucking skim.
Yeah, you could probably you can serve a meal out of that pool.
Yeah.
I'd imagine.
I mean, how cool is it though to just like send your employees photos of your wife dressed as a French maid? And maybe like when he said like there are no photos of Becky, it is non-existent of any photos of Becky dressed as a French maid. It's just like when in reality she was dressed as a sexy nurse.
Yeah, exactly. It came from Halloween Express.
Yeah, I do love the French maid. Just the most boring,
The most hackney 1950s ass fucking fantasy.
Dressed as a Playboy bunny with
right.
ears and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going on vacation. My wife's gonna wear a bikini. Cool. Fucking dope, man.
So it just goes on and on about how the athletic facility that was basically gifted to Ben Crosswhite was quote a drain on the university resources that was disproportionate to his value.
You mean the thing that they built just so that they could get nude with their fucking trainer was not financially viable for them?
I mean, that's the Equinox model.
Yeah, but they let other people in.
That's a good point.
So I mean, like the piece goes like it goes on and on to talk about like their relationship with Michael Cohen's and the Trumps and how they like literally changed the graduation schedule of Liberty University so that the students could vote in local Lynchburg elections to swing it towards, their
They
preferred conservative
they
politicians.
got a vendor to sell Trump Liberty T-shirts, which
Yeah,
is completely illegal.
Yeah, they're selling Trump merchandise through the university as a 501c or whatever. Shirts that say Liberty University, Trump, and then it says "Making America Great" 1 degree at a time.
Wildly illegal. Just blowing the doors off.
And again,
of your
like
nonprofit status there by doing that.
Like the final part of the article is like talking about all the shady nonprofit stuff, like and their electioneering for Donald Trump. And then again, it comes back to this question: like, who is scamming who? Like, who's getting the most out of this relationship? Is it Donald Trump or is it Jerry Falwell Jr.? And the piece and the people surrounding him, all of these longtime associates and anonymous Liberty University officials say that like, no, Trump really isn't getting anything out of this. It's Jerry Jr. that through his connection to Trump is like recreating the role his father once had as like the approximation of like a political kingmaker.
Yeah, because like the idea that evangelical leaders needed to sign off on Trump for their fucking supporters to vote for him is ridiculous. He hit all the Q zones. He was going to get their vote no matter what. But Falwell gets to rent seek basically by putting himself between the followers and Trump, and because Trump doesn't know any better, he gets to sell himself as the guy who can like deliver them for them, even though he really doesn't have that power. It says he has the charisma of a wet sponge.
So I guess really like the guy top of the totem pole here is hot young studs.
Yes.
They're making out the best out of this.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. All you got to do is pipe down the hot wife for a bit, and then you get a fucking chalet. You get a functioning you get a functioning recycling center with a $3 million a year profit margin.
In the ruins of the late American Empire, the collapse of the American Empire, and the dawn of whatever the next thing is, our new John Jacob Astors, our new generation of great rich men will be the young Chads who scam their initial fortune out of Jerry Falwell Jr.
Off of the horny fail sons who hold all of the capital.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the only real redistribution we're going to get. So people need to start like blasting their fucking abs and get out there. Get on the fucking websites where you can hook up with your sugar daddies and such.
The new robber barons will be the Chads of today.
Yes.
So like they're like to sort of like to bring this all together, bring it all home. Like it gets into the question of like people and like liberals especially and people in the media, like the Aaron Sorkin, like how dare you, or like the hypocrisy hounds out there will often make a big deal out of like the fact that like Donald Trump is the most popular figure in evangelical America far and away. He's by far, and like that they are ride or die for Donald Trump, and they'd be like, how could they do this? I mean, like he paid to fuck a porn star, like while his wife was pregnant with their child. How can they abide this? And I think it's like typical to liberals like blinkered worldview is that they don't understand that there is